welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Noah, and I wanted to welcome you to another installment of Monologue Monday here on my YouTube channel. If you happen to be a returning viewer to this series on my YouTube channel, thank you so much for tuning back in. I know I say this a lot, but I really do enjoy making these open concept-esque videos, so thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time viewing a Monologue Monday episode here on my YouTube channel, welcome to the show, and I hope you can take something away from this video. With all that being said, let's get into this episode of Monologue Monday. Okay, so for this episode of Monologue Monday, I wanted to talk about some of my own personal opinions on the reasons I stick to a financial plan, the reasons I am hyper-focused on making sure that my finances are in check on a week-to-week basis, on a month-to-month basis, and by extension, a year-to-year basis, and basically why I care, right? Why rather I care so much about making sure that the numbers align and I am reaching each of my target goals on a month-to-month, year-to-year basis. I think it's fair to say that everybody has their different reasons for caring about finances, or maybe their lack thereof caring for their finances, perhaps. But these are just some of my opinions, and I hope maybe some of them resonate with you as well. So the first reason as to why I care, basically why I care about making sure that I'm on a budget, right, a financial track that works really well for me, and why I'm meeting goals and so on, is the consistency of it. We live in a world where consistency seems to be pretty hard to come by at times, depending on your circumstances and so on. But life is pretty much meant to be relatively chaotic, right? We live in a world full of chaos and tribulation, and there's happiness and joy, and there, you go up and down and up and down depending on your luck, depending on the environment, depending on other people's actions and so on, or there's just so many different things that can impact the consistency of your life. So for me personally, at least having my finances right, so the numbers aspect of it, ensuring that I have a well-developed budget that I've made for myself, and like I said, on a year-to-year, month-to-month, week-to-week basis, I am, in track for my end goal, or on track for the end goal at the end of the year, is just a really nice feeling. Having that consistency, being able to, go through each week, knowing how much you can spend on this, or how much rather you should spend on this, or in this category, is really, really nice. And then, of course, knowing at the end of the year that you've reached your goal, or that you've maybe came up ahead of schedule, right? So maybe you have leftover money, is just a really great feeling. And I think it's very hard to hard to mimic that, right? Because there's so many things within our day-to-day life that are out of our control, and like I said, that seem so chaotic, right? We like to have control over certain things, and it just so happens that there's a lot of things in life that we just don't, right? We just don't have control of. But I think financially, there's many people, the majority should have the ability to take control of that, and mimic this kind of consistency on a month-to-month basis. So that's the first reason why I like to stay financially on track, is I really like having consistency with numbers, consistency with my finances, and of course consistency with my overall plan for my entire life. The second reason that I like to care, right? The second reason as to why I'm very disciplined as far as finances go, for my personal finances, is I like the security. Similar to the first example where we live in a chaotic world, this can go hand in hand with it. Nothing is perfect, right? If anything, things are so far from perfect, and that's kind of what makes us human. But disaster and suffering are no strangers here. There's going to come a point in all of our lives, in my life and in yours, where life will basically stop giving us things, right? We will stop being gifted, certain privileges and things, and so on, and it will start taking them away from us. And this is something that I think more people need to acknowledge and be ready for. And generally speaking, when I speak like this, I'm talking about, suffering, right? So accidents, right? The deaths and injuries and, your body not, being, your young body anymore, right? You kind of falling apart. And that's kind of generally what tends to happen with us, at least at this point in time. We don't have anything that can, time is something that, money cannot buy as far as right now goes. But this is something that makes me sleep a little bit better at night, knowing that if something were to happen, if something bad medically or medically either with myself or someone, my family, whatever it may be, the funding is there, right? The security, the insurance, and you guys know if you've seen my previous videos, I'm always big on, or I'm pushing making sure that people are fully insured, because it's something is bound to happen, right? It just there's no time, no, there's no telling when it will be, but something is bound to happen. And this is kind of the way I think about a lot of things in life, where having a security blanket for your life is something that's only going to help you, right? And it's really going to help you sleep at night. And that's certainly why I put it on this list here, because having the confidence and the security, knowing that if something were to go awry, were to go south, were to go, in the wrong direction, I would be personally financially secured, and I could, help myself, help others, whatever it may be. Now, finally, the third and final reason why I like to be hyper focused on my financial planning and investing, saving goals, and so on, is because I like to dream. Right? I have aspirations that go outside of my day to day right now to a certain extent. I try to make some of these dreams happen. As I am doing right now, talking in front of this camera, but I think everybody has things that they want to do in life, and as life goes on, they get sidetracked, right? Because of the way our lives are structured, right? Working 40 hours, getting food ready, and then you have kids, and then you're getting their food ready, and then yours, and maybe you're working more because you have a kid, and then you have a house, and then you have cars, and then you have family events, and then I mean, the list goes on, where there's only so many hours in the day, right? 24 hours in the day, obviously less if you're not making the most of your day. But there's only so much that we can do on a day-to-day basis. And as you take on more responsibility, which is just bound to happen in life, right? I'm in a position right now where I want a really strong 2024 year for my work, right? And I that's going to take time. It's going to take consistency, and it's an obligation, right? It's something that needs my attention and needs my time, as there are so many other things. Making videos here, making sure that I'm making good food, making sure that I'm chasing my physical aspirations through tennis and so on, and seeing friends and seeing family. We start to become kind of like a flat Stanley, right? We start to kind of be spread out amongst all these different things, and our dreams, our aspirations, some of them at least, tend to not make it on the list, right? They become kind of an afterthought. And one thing that I do not want to happen is this. This is something that I don't want I don't want it to be a reality in my life. There's many people, 50, 55 plus, that I've spoken to, where, one of the first things, or not one of the first things necessarily, but one of the things that I like to ask older people is, what aspirations did they have in life that they weren't able to do? And a lot of people have quite a bit to say. There's many things that they wanted to do that just nothing panned out. And here they are sitting, 60 years old, 65, even 55, where they just don't seem like a reality at that point. And I'm not saying that that all comes down to money, right? It doesn't always come down to finances, but to a certain extent, I think having, a nice sum, right? Being consistent with your money through your younger years, and then having a nice lump sum, for possibly an earlier retirement, can give you the opportunity to chase some of these dreams. And it's something that I think everybody should really chase for. And even right now, being on a financial plan right now has allowed me to chase, some of my dreams, right? One of them getting into camera work and making videos and, helping people with their budgets and so on is something that I've wanted to do for quite some time. And being on a budget has been able to has given me the opportunity to start bringing these things into fruition. And like I said, I have many more that I don't want to take too much of your time here on this video listing off, but there's quite a few, and it's something that, like I said, I don't want my dreams to take a wayside. I want to bring as many of them into fruition as possible, and being on a solid financial plan for myself is something that I am confident is going to allow me to do just that. So conclusively, from this list of 3 reasons as to why I personally am, hyper focused on my financial planning and retirement planning and so on, is just because I like consistency. I like security. I like feeling safe, if something were to happen, which they will, right? As I said earlier. But it's also because I have dreams, right? I have aspirations that I know if I weren't financially adept, right, planning and making sure that money is going to the right areas, I'm very confident that they wouldn't come into fruition. And I want to do my best to try to leave Earth, so to speak, and basically pass on, knowing that I was able to chase as many of these goals as possible. And, I could go on and on and on about my last reason here, because I feel like it's truly fundamental. I think it's very foundational. It should be a goal that everybody has to chase, the goals that they have, their dreams in life. And I think financial planning is a great way to start, getting on that track. So there you have it, guys. That is my list of the reasons as to why I am personally very focused on my personal finances. But now I want to hear from you. What are some of your reasons as to why you are or are not focused on your financial planning / retirement planning? Please let me know some of your reasons in the comment section below. I'd love to hear them. And of course, if you are in a position where you're looking to augment your personal finances through financial analysis and personalized budgeting, that's exactly what I do here at AFA. If you have any questions for me personally, or if you'd like to take a look at the financial services that I can provide to you, I've left my email and a link to my company website in the description box below. As always, thank you so much for your time today, and happy financing.